So here are our anti-heroes right here with their newfound cart as you are traveling northwards out of the town of Penthurst and along the northern road. Now, if you remember, your little guide, Mr. Hoots, had alerted you to the fact that way further down the road, the bounty hunters seem to finally have left Kanduin and were on their way behind you. Still a good number. Oh yeah, if you weren't here to find that good news out, Jen.
Mr. Hoots told us there were people coming. So okay.
Great. So you know it's all good. But in any case, there's still a few miles between you and them, and they weren't exactly galloping. So there you go. All right. So I'm assuming you guys were on the road and heading north. Yeah, Tolgar in charge of the horse and cart. What could go wrong? All right, okay. And up the main road you travel. Well, who knows what is going on back in Penthurst, as the bounty hunters must have arrived in town. You can only hope that the mayor has kept up his end of the bargain, of course. If the bounty hunter does indeed have a strange supernatural way of tracking his quarry, does it even matter? Maybe he already senses that you're not in town. Maybe he just blew straight through and is following you. Who knows? But anyway, you're going to continue up the main road. Alrighty. Now, how hard do you want to push this horse and cart? I will tell you, who amongst you has any real talent when it comes to understanding quality of animals?
I do. I have animal handling.
I think I do also.
All right, so if you have animal handling,
Lilith handled her share of animals, but
right. So
not horses.
Well,
Tolgar with a 10. All right. Deister is slightly better with a 12.
He's okay. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, mine's absolutely crap. I'm not even gonna bother. My passive's a 10. So.
All right. So. And are you? Is Lilith gonna roll, or is she, or is that more of a sarcastic, fun comment than an actual "I have a skill"?
Lilith knows nothing about horses, and so she's gonna leave that to the professionals.
Okay. Well,
the professionals.
Clearly, as you're holding the reins, Tolgar, you can clearly tell that the horse has got a. It's definitely a powerful animal. Liv, you haven't really had time to examine the creature, but I mean. It's proportionately, it's extremely well balanced. It looks like a very healthy, fit, horse. Beyond that, you guys know enough to know that this isn't you haven't been saddled with some piece of crap nag anyway. You've got a decent animal. All right, so yeah, what do you want to do regarding pushing this thing? Do you want to push it hard, or do you want to kind of, take it easy? I mean, you've got a long way to go, so it's really up to you. Of course, the bounty hunters are not that far behind.
Probably a steady trot, not push it too hard, right? Or else it'll get tired really quickly.
And it will die, and it won't be good if we just run it to death.
Right.
Did
Stupid fun.
the guy give us feed and stuff?
Yes, he did. He gave you a week's worth of feed and threw it in the back of the cart, so you are well equipped.
Did he tell us the name of the horse?
No.
And is it Bill 2.0?
No.
We've already had a Bill 2.0.
Right. If it's called Bill, it's guaranteed to die. So maybe you shouldn't call it Bill.
Why don't we give it a better name?
Wodja. Call it Wodja.
Calvin Klein. No, I don't know.
Kevin.
Mr. Giggles.
Mr. Gigglesworth. There you go. Mr. Ed.
It's Kevin. Kev.
Kevin? Okay.
Damn it.
Kev.
All right.
No.
Sorry.
Kevin the
All right,
horse.
Kev. Steady trot.
Okay.
Right,
trot.
because Kev understands steady trot as language.
All right. A good steady trot. Well,
What do
you
you want me to do?
It was fairly early, so you pretty much get a full day's ride underneath you. Obviously, you don't have to. You guys can rest on the journey because you have a cart. That's one of the advantages of a cart over a horse, is you actually can lay down and try to get some sleep. But needless to say, a full day's worth of travel. You can see kind of like some small hills in the distance. Excuse me. The sun is going down. It's starting to get late. Your horse still seems to be fairly energetic. You know, it hasn't lagged yet. So you can continue to push it if you wish, or you can decide to take a rest. It's up to you.
I say push it.
Yeah. How's everyone with like health and everything? Are we good?
What's the horse's health bar? No.
What is Tolgar at? Now that I think about it,
I don't know. Mine still says 51, but that's what it
that's
was.
That's a colossal lie.
Okay, what am I at?
No, you got healed.
You got healed. I healed you. You rested.
You healed up a good bit.
And then you rested, so you got some.
So you got some more back. So yeah, okay, we'll say that we'll go with that.
51. Okay.
We'll go with that.
That's what the math said, man.
Okay.
Oh, if you actually updated the sheet, then that's cool.
Did you? Oh, I
Yeah,
thought.
Shaggy was on top of it. He was
Awesome. There you go.
Good boy.
Sounds good
All
to
right.
me.
Good, Kev.
All right, well there you go, Kevin. You're on 51. All
Trot
right.
on, Kev.
Okay, so you push it into the night.
Okay.
Several hours into the darkness, it's becoming very difficult for you to see on the road. There is a slight amount of moonlight. You've got about half a crescent. But you can see, but it's like you're having to kind of squint pretty hard, and it's making you feel a lot more tired.
Tolgar, get in the back. I'll take over.
Actually, Liv will take over, and she'll put Hoots
Oh.
on her shoulder, and Hoots can guide the way with his vision.
I don't know if I trust
That's an
you
impressive
guiding
trick.
us
Liv's going to
with
drive the
someone.
cart with her eyes closed.
Yeah, that's right.
She actually sees better with that. Okay.
I'll hop in the back and kind of curl up as a giant can in the corner, trying to take a little nap.
Alrighty.
What could possibly go wrong, right, guys?
Hey, exactly right. Well, okay, you push it for several more hours, but now you have definitely started noticing the horse's head is starting to lag. The luster is out of its stride, and if nothing else, it's going to need to eat and get water.
All right.
Are there any patches of trees anywhere?
No, it's fairly open. Kind of looking. There's the odd bush and brush, but nothing more than about 1.5 to 2 foot high. It's other than the hills that are, you're getting closer to the hills. You could forcibly push on for maybe another hour and make it into the hills, if you want to do that, or
An
you
hour
can kind of
to the hills. I would be down with that idea. What do you guys say?
More cover, safer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, the horse will make it that far. It's not going to keel over
Sorry,
and die.
buddy.
But by the time you do make it into the foothills, it is clearly exhausted.
Okay. So, I guess this is a good place to stop and park and pull over for the time being. I want to do a perception check to see what my surroundings are. As far as Hoots, he's going to be flown up above, and he's also going to see what else is in the surrounding area.
Alrighty.
So that's my first roll. Perception.
Let's see. Alright, quite honestly, there doesn't seem to be much of anything. It's fairly open plains. There's, all to the south of you and to your east and west. Northwards, of course, there are a small group of rolling hills. The road itself kind of winds its way through them, but in all honesty, about 1/4 of a mile and you're through and out the other side. The hills themselves, there's a few, up on the tops of this, one of the smaller hillocks to the left, there's a small crop of maybe a dozen or so trees. Looks like it'd probably be more of a pain in the ass trying to get the cart up there than it would to, take advantage of the cover. For you guys, if you wanted to climb your way up there, you could do so.
So maybe kind of put the cart and the horse somewhere and then climb up to the trees? You're saying?
It's possible to do that, yeah.
Or keep the cart and then can the horse make it up? Or is he too
If the horse
exhausted?
isn't pulling the cart behind it, probably. But it's it's not that it's far, it's just pretty darn steep, and your horse is knackered.
Can a Tolgar pull the cart?
I don't know
He
if I
might
want to run
be
the risk
able
of
to.
pulling it and then letting
It might be
go
all
and
he can do to get it up there, but it is entirely possible.
Why don't you guys go up there and I'll just sleep in the cart down here?
I do not let others sleep alone.
I'm not alone. I have all of nature around me.
Somebody make sure they
You're
save
exposed. Don't take that quote. And
that. Make
twist
sure you
it.
get that quote. Somebody get that quote. Jane Ivana said, I
You're
don't let others
exposed.
sleep alone.
Especially when they're exposed.
Especially when they're exposed. Make sure, get it all. Get it all, Milk.
Stop!
Okay, that's too good to miss.
Well, then someone else stay in the cart with me. Don't worry,
I
it
will.
won't bite.
I volunteer.
I was kind of hoping not to have a big, sweaty man next to me, but okay. just saying.
Yeah. I'll stay down there with you. Girls should take cover.
Because they need it. Is that what you're-
Hottest is hottest.
Alrighty.
Tilts her head like, what? Whatever.
I didn't say that. I'm just.
Lilith is
Adding
going
her to
to
the
kind of
tall
roll her eyes and come on.
Okay.
Okay, Hoots wants to scout out in front of us to make sure those trees are clear of anything.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be... There's a few birds nesting up in there, but that's about it.
Okay. He really wants to do like a 360, like just to make sure. Like,
He's fairly confident there is nothing particularly vile and nasty hiding in the small crop of trees.
I am going to feed the horse and brush it down, and then we'll go up to the trees.
Okay. So are you leaving the horse down there with the, with the cart?
The horse's hooves
Yeah,
look
maybe for
pretty
like
good.
a quick getaway. If we have to jump on the cart. And me and Emlyn will be around.
And quick getaways are our things in
Yes.
carts.
In cart.
Tolgar has experience.
I'm
Yeah,
just-
Tolgar knows
I'm
how to escape in a cart.
Leave the horse. I will feed and give it water.
Alright. Okay.
I'm
So
just thinking like Emlyn saying, "Psst, let's just go," and we just go without.
We just completely.
Emlyn's thinking that as he tries to go to sleep.
You're such a dick. Okay.
Oh, that's
All
so
right.
funny though.
Okay, so yes, so you decided to do that. Anybody want to keep a watch, or are you just going to say, no, it's perfectly safe here?
Oh,
Go
it's
to
always
sleep.
safe here. Hoots
Taking
is
a
going to
watch.
keep a watch.
I'm gonna
Hoots-
sleep.
Okay. You can keep a watch. I'm going to send Hoots to watch us as well.
Okay.
I want to. Oh wait, never mind.
You need to go and defecate again? Is that what you're about to do?
No.
The only barbarian that actually does that? Frequently? Regular? As clockwork?
One or two?
Hey, I'm a big guy and I eat a lot.
Oh my god. Alright.
So, Liv and Lilith are on their way up the side of the mountain. Liv is going to turn to Lilith and say, so we're heading towards your gardens. What can you tell me about your gardens?
It's very comfortable. I think that we could all use a nice rest in some comfort and luxury after all we've been through.
It sounds like an interesting place. I'm very unfamiliar with some of what is done there, I guess.
Oh my. Most people are, dear.
And I know you spoke of a religion, and I am interested in that, just in case I have to, stay. So, what can you tell me about it?
I think I can teach you the ways of Malcontheth. She appreciates women with our sort of backgrounds. That being those who've been betrayed by men. She's not quite fond of men, so I think that you would fit in with her.
I see. That is interesting. Yes, I have been betrayed. And some of our new friends, I have questions about, to say the least.
Well, that is to say, men aren't necessarily completely useless.
They're not? How so?
They can be used. They're tools like anything else.
Tools, I see. Okay. Very interesting.
Malcontheth could teach you the ways of that.
Does she speak to you? Do you see her ever? Or does she speak through other things? Like the land and sky?
Oddly enough, she hasn't spoken to me yet, but I have faith.
I see. And the people that
Soon.
are in your area, do they hear her voice?
One of my girls have reported to hear strange things when they are in need.
Oh, very interesting.
So I feel that she takes care of those who are faithful to her.
I see. And what does she require? I hear sometimes gods and goddesses require things.
Malcontheth is strange. She's not what you would expect from a deity, I'd have to say. You never quite know what she might require of you. So you have to keep yourself open-minded and ready.
Open-minded is
the
appropriate.
word that I can only think of. It's not far-fetched to say she might require blood.
Blood. Oh, okay. I guess that won't be too bad. We're talking like a little bit here or a whole bunch?
Oh, there have been followers of hers that were required to kill someone that loved them.
Oh. So,
She can be a cruel deity,
I see.
but if we're talking semantics, it was someone that loves you, not necessarily someone you love.
Oh, well, I have no one that loves me, other than Hoots, but we all know Hoots. So,
Well, using your woman's ways, it's possible to have one that loves you. Deception is a highly valued quality in followers of Malcontheth.
deception. You'll have to teach me of these ways. I know nothing of them.
They come more easily than you would think.
Well, would you mind being my teacher then?
I can't see why Malcontheth wouldn't be happy to have another daughter under her regime.
Very good. Sounds like a very interesting path to choose. I'm in.
Well, one can't deny the fact that it is pretty much purely self-gain, but what in this world can you do? It's pretty much all for one.
All for one goddess or themselves? Or yourself? As a person?
Not much in the way of benefiting others. It's purely for self-gain.
I see.
Other than Malcontheth will watch out for her daughters, as she has watched out for my girls.
Well, I have a child to protect and get back. So I'm hoping maybe this goddess of yours will help me do so. And your place of stay does sound interesting.
Well,
My land has been
she may
ruined
require
now.
things of you, but if you give her your devotion, she will give you what you need and what you require.
Very well. I have very little to give. My lands have been burned and lost. My people are gone. All I would have is that child, if it even still is alive.
Liv, you have more power than you know.
I don't know about that. I just have what nature is, I suppose.
Nature, how you were born, that's all you need.
I see.
Women are
You're-
born with power. You never lose that power unless you allow someone to take it from you.
You're so wise, love. I'm happy to have met you.
We'll get your child back, Olivia.
Thank you. And I hope we can do whatever we need to do with your garden.
I require very little.
Just getting
I've already
back to it.
lost everything that was very important to me. So
It wasn't to this goddess, is it?
no, I did not find Malcontheth until much later.
I see.
but I feel that I was led to her. I think that she was there with me, and she kept me alive and led me where I needed to go.
That's very awesome. Well, maybe through you, she's doing the same for me.
I don't see why not.
Very good, then.
Alrighty. Okay. So, you guys are going to chill out in the at the top of the hills. Emlyn and the horse and cart. Was anybody else staying down there with Emlyn?
Tolgar.
Tolgar. Okay. Well, it's a fairly peaceful evening. You can't help but feel anxiety at the thought of the bounty hunters not too far behind you. But the sun begins to rise. Your horse wakes up. You're all well rested. And there is no sign of anybody else that you can see visually on the road.
Liv wants to see if there's any interesting plants in that area before they start off. Oh, D20 just blacked out.
Alrighty, you can make a herbalist check. And to 12, thank you for the follow. Ezra Yock, thank you as well for hitting that follow button.
Nature check?
Sure.
Okay.
Alrighty. Really, there really isn't a whole bunch here. It's very open, it's very exposed. Most plants, other than the common plain stuff that you're going to find, ferns and stuff like that, aren't gonna do well here with no cover. So this is probably not the most ideal place to find anything of any real value. You can find a little bit of milk thistle, but that's about it.
Okay. She just grabs a little bit of the milk thistle then, because you never know.
Alright. Okie dokie. And you head onwards, I'm assuming.
Yeah, as we do, Emlyn's just going to say, while he's in the back eating an apple, because he must look more like an asshole, how far do we have to travel? Lilith.
I have no idea where we are. This is me out of character. I don't know where we are.
Well, you guys are... You've probably never
apple.
been this far south. You recall back to the guy telling you were a good 800 or so miles from Corthan, and the Garden of Eden is like 20 miles outside of Corthan, so... You know, you still got like 700 plus miles to go. It's a long
Jesus.
way. This is
God.
not a quick journey by any means, and at the speed of a horse and cart, you know, even pushing it hard like you guys are, you know, 50 miles in a day would be pretty extreme. So,
Okay.
you know, do the math.
So we feed
Couple
and
of
water
weeks.
the horse, and we keep vigilant on the roads ahead of us.
Alrighty. Okay. Well, in the far off distance behind you, and we're talking way, way, way back there, there are small dots on the horizon that Hoots is able to identify. So, you know, they number 5. So it seems like, again, said bounty hunter folk are somewhere behind you. But again, it's... They're further behind you now than they were before. They obviously, you know, rested well. They didn't push things as far as you did.
And hopefully the mayor didn't tell them we came through there, so maybe they're even more.
Yep, they may be purely going blind, just following the road northwards in the hopes of finding out information about where you guys are.
Honestly, keep going until we think of something else. I don't see what other choice we have.
Is there any way that my character would know how to hide our tracks?
Well, it's first of all, you're on a well-trodden road. It's a horse and cart, so really you don't really have to hide anything. You know, they don't know necessarily you have a horse and cart. A lot of people travel up and down these roads on horse and cart, so you know, you're more likely to be found if you break off the road than you are if you stay on it, to be honest.
Okay.
Assuming they have any tracking skills, because if they suddenly see wonder why suddenly someone deviated off the road and went off into the fields.
Right.
That was kind of curious. So, But needless to say, late that following day, in the... Let's make sure... Oh, not you. What am I putting you there for? Get out of there. I moved it.
Gorb, I just want you to know, please don't think the last follow we just got.
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably a troll, so I won't.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
I just wanted you
Yeah,
to...
we
to
ignore
say
those.
that
I do read. I read them
started
first.
saying it.
I read them
Okay.
first. All right. So late afternoon, you are approaching what appears to be a small farming hamlet, but it is considerably smaller than Penthearth behind you. It is a tiny little hovel. It has cornfields to the left. You don't see any real livestock anywhere.
God. Oh, so cool.
So you guys, chat, if you've been with us since the very first stream, this little town right here, Crow Bluff, is the very first. This is the very first place that our heroes, or we on the stream. This is like the very first place that this ever went.
Ever.
Zell Turtle,
Oh,
thanks
this-
for the follow, buddy.
Ooh, I love it. It's like the first time I ever played D&D was this map.
Aww.
Oh yeah, thank you. It was, wasn't it? Actually,
So cool.
absolutely
Very
was.
awesome.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Okie dokie. So yeah, you guys, as you're entering into the town, some of you may have noticed if you have seen this map before, it's a little different. It's not
Yeah.
quite the same as
Yeah.
it
Built
was.
up a little bit.
Yeah, there used to be a horse pen there.
There used to be a horse farm there, indeed. Yep,
Oh. I
I
don't
did.
remember that.
yep. And this big house wasn't here, and this place
Yeah,
was
this
a little.
house.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right. This place was a little bit more run down.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but yes, you make your way into the small hamlet of Crow Bluff. Okay, there's really nothing particularly exciting about this place. Just glancing around, the only building of any worth appears to be a large tavern that you can see on the right-hand side of town. Beyond that, it is all just fields of crops, corn, potatoes, wheat. You know, it is definitely your classic farming community.
Do I see this well over here?
You do, yes.
I'm gonna point it out and say, perhaps the horse? Some water?
Maybe rest for like 30 minutes or something.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any town folk on the road at all? I send boots up, or unless we
There's a
can see
few
it.
people walking out of the fields and stuff like that. A few of them are heading towards the local tavern. Some of them are just going home to clean up. You know, sun is setting, so it's kind of an hour time, maybe about 6 in the evening.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna lift the pail out with some water in it and give it to the horse to drink.
All right. Okay. Well, your horse eagerly laps up the water.
Would you guys be interested in eating here at the tavern and moving on, or staying the night?
How far off do we think the bounty hunters are? Did Hoot see them, or?
Basically, you guys are pretty much... During the day, they gain a little bit on you because they can move quicker. Last night, of course, because you pushed it through to the early wee hours of the morning, you made a little bit of headway. At a guess, they are probably 5 or 6, maybe 5 or 6 miles behind you total. So
Not very far.
Oh boy.
if you stayed the night and they continued on, they would catch you. Of course, the question is, will they continue on that long? Bearing in mind,
there
you
any
have the
way-
advantage of knowing where they are.
Yeah.
In theory, they don't know where
I
you
think
are.
they kind of know where we are. Is there any way we can like ambush them into some kind of trap? I don't
Into
like
the-
this.
Into the mountains, we could have done that, probably. Maybe. Actually, I didn't think of it till just now. But we probably could have set up a trap and did something there.
Do you guys really want to even try to tango with them?
Well, they're never going to stop chasing us even when we make it to Corthan. We're just always running.
If we make it to the garden, wouldn't the garden have people to help us? Emily's gonna look at Lilith.
Possibly not at the garden, but I do know people that may be able to help us.
Ooh.
Well, they wouldn't be the sort that people would normally consort with, but considering this party and what I've witnessed so far, I don't think that would be a problem.
The man back at the Thief Guild said that they had an object that they were using to track me with. So, I don't know
It's
how to
possible.
dispel I can dispel magic on myself and others, but unless we were near the person with the object, I couldn't dispel magic.
Do we know what this object is?
No, but it doesn't matter, I don't believe, as long as... Let me recall...
So we
dispel
strip them
magic.
naked with nothing left and leave them to die. Then they won't have this object.
Tolgar, I hate to burst your little fantasy, but I seem
It
to
is a
recall
fantasy to strip
them
people.
almost cutting you limb for limb. Now, you seem to be the only
Yes.
one with martial prowess of this group, maybe Lilith too, to some degree. I don't think
Spider.
if
Lisa,
I,
thanks for the follow.
Tiger.
yes, I still think if we tried to go toe-to-toe with them, they would kill us outright.
Correct, which is... I
So,
do believe
even
it's
setting a
trap
trap.
or ambush.
Even a
Weaken
trap or
them.
ambush. Unless you come up with something really creative, of which I am completely out of ideas, I think we should just try to outpace them.
Is there nothing in that book of yours that could help us?
There's quite a bit, actually, but it would not make you guys happy. I mean, I've unlocked certain secrets of the universe, if you would like me to impart that knowledge.
No, thank you.
He can tell you why everything's related to the number 42.
Well,
When Emlyn says this, he's going to look at Lilith and Liv in particular.
Okay.
I think if I just talk to you, Tolgar, you'll just get mad and kill me. Of which I
Well, you speak of just outrunning them, but will they ever stop chasing us?
probably not.
Doubtful.
So
When
we're
you
going
say-
to have to encounter them eventually.
right, so whether it be on... It's probably better that it's on our terms versus their
Yes.
turns, I would think. So, what we need to do is set a trap, and I need to look up Dispel Magic. Let me concentrate on that some more. And...
You say things we would not be pleased with. What would those things be? Perhaps we
Perhaps.
can compromise.
I don't want any problems. I think we have different outlooks on what entails life, where life is important.
Well, unless it hurts me directly, that's what's important.
Well, I'm not talking any physical pain, but philosophical for sure.
Philosophical.
Are you the type of person who hears a statement and gets so embroiled and angry that you lash out and go into a violent...
In
I
other
don't know,
words, do
throat
you use
throttling?
Facebook?
Are you... Here, a statement. Ready? This will be fun. Gender doesn't mean anything.
Well, Lilith knows that. She told us what she could do.
What?
Change into any gender.
What are we talking about?
What? You've completely confused me. I was speaking to Lilith. And
I'm
her
standing right-
and her man hate. I'm just letting her know that gender is completely meaningless in the grand scheme of things.
If that's how you feel, fine. I vehemently disagree with you, but it's not like saying that hurts me in any way.
Okay. See, this was fun. Emlyn's just gonna start flipping some pages in his book. Start reading.
Gender
Okay,
matters.
well, your horse has emptied the
Says
bucket.
Tolgar. Okay, emptied the bucket. I'm gonna refill it while we keep talking here.
Okay.
Let him drink more.
It doesn't. It's not going to drink anymore, but you can by all means refill it and sit it in
I'm
front
going
of it.
to refill it. Drink up, Kev.
Drink it. Grab the horse, stuff
Okay.
it. Get it. Drink.
Okay. So what we would have to do would be to trap them in an area, and I can cast Dispel Magic on the person, which would dispel any belongings they had on them.
It would dispel belongings.
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate on that? Like, literally.
So, a lot of times, people with magic properties carry a magic totem or an item that have magic repercussions that it can do. Sometimes it affects themselves and others. In this case, what it's doing is tracking me. Now, what I can do is target that person, and when they have that object on them, it will dispel everything on them. So that object won't work anymore. Emlyn, are you familiar with this spell?
I have heard about it before, yes.
But what if it's not the spell?
I just think allowing the advantage we gain by traveling longer in the day.
What?
To
Jeep,
risk
thank you for
being
resubscribing. Appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you, Jeep.
I think that is an abject mistake. I'm aware that they are following us, and it'll probably be endless, but I would rather not let them close the distance with us, even if we have a plan.
I don't disagree with Emlyn. I would say that having a plan in case they do happen to catch up with us is a good idea, but I don't think putting ourselves in danger knowingly is very intelligent.
Okay.
Now, while we travel, we can come up with a plan to trap them, or slow their progress. Maybe collapse some trees in front of the road, and while we go north further.
I haven't seen a tree in days.
Well, they are bound
Perhaps
to
a
be
pile
trees.
of bodies.
I think it is wise to expect that they will catch up
wall
to
of
us
bodies.
eventually.
I agree. Maybe Diggle.
That is a good point. I would
Look.
still like to get something to eat in the tavern before we leave.
Yes, what I was thinking was something along the lines of perhaps trapping them in a mountain area, boulders, something like that, of that effect. Some place where we have the advantage above them, as well as being able to capture them in an area, and then we can attack from above. That was my thought.
I would not be against that idea if such a situation arose, that we can exploit it.
I wish we would have thought of this, like, yesterday.
Well,
Oh, wow.
we as a group are known for our awkward silences while traveling, be it by sea or by... As long as you don't transform into a fucking bear.
And tip over the car.
What do you have against bears?
Bears
I like
in
to kill
confined
bears
wooden
for
spaces.
once. I'm gonna show her my bear claw token that I have.
Hey.
Just don't do it.
It's just like a keychain.
It's like a lucky
It is my
rabbit, but-
totem.
Yeah.
And you are
That is a
against
tiny
bears
bear.
or poor bears? You didn't attack me last time, but we were in a small boat, so...
Yeah.
I did want to. Very, very badly.
Let's get some food and be quick about it. Maybe eat while we travel, because we're just letting them close the distance.
3 burgers to go, please. Okay.
Okay, so I put my hood up over my hair, and...
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you guys want to head into the Old Crow Tavern?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, guess what? That's the perfect time for us to take our first break. All right.
Oh my
Okay.
god. Ah. Oh, it has a little title in the corner.
Oh my god, there's still blue on the floor.
I
What
know.
Well,
Hey.
okay. So you guys wander in. It is a very rustic little place. It is old. Most of the tables are not particularly in a good shape. You can see some of them are a little wobbly. The bar itself is ancient. It's not very heavily populated, but all in all, it has a very kind of warm and cozy feel to it.
I'm going to wander over to the corner here.
All right. Okay, you sit down on the bench and immediately notice it's
Oh,
a
no.
little rickety. Like, it's sturdy, but the top wobbles. It's not like not as well fitting as some of the other seats that you've sat on in other drinking establishments.
I'm just going to approach and be like, Tolgar, should we really stay here and eat?
Oh. To go. I forgot. I'm gonna get up. Like, it was a nice thought. And start wandering this way. And
Alrighty.
what is that blue stuff for?
Okay, so you notice that there are indeed some really weird, kind of slightly luminescent stains on the floor. There are some over here on the edge of the wall, and there are some kind of here on the bar as well.
Okay.
Does anyone seem to be concerned about this?
Nope.
The closest one, can I make a perception or a investigation roll to figure out what it is? Or perhaps
The thing is,
maybe,
none of those
talking-
things
Oh
could
my God, that's
possibly.
spot move.
None of those things are going to really give you any indication above what you can already see. This is not something that the average person would have ever seen before or could ever possibly identify. Night, Nick. Thank for the follow button. But whatever it is just got a very faint glow about it.
The people in the bar don't
course
seem to
not.
be at all distracted, correct?
Nope.
Like it's been there forever and they're just like, what
They
else?
don't seem to have a problem with it. You do notice that no one is standing particularly close to it, but that being said, they don't seem to be alarmed by its presence. They're just having a good old drink and chowing down on some food and chit-chat about whatever their average daily fun activities in the fields are.
I'm going to skirt around it very masculinely. And sit down. The bar.
I'm just going to walk right through it and sit down.
Okay. The tavern owner comes wandering over. He's a fairly kind of robust fellow. He is bald. He's got slightly graying mutton chops on the side of his face. You can see kind of like a grayish stubble around the side of his hair. So it looks like he probably, if he was to allow his hair to grow, he would basically have like, gray around the sides here, but he obviously keeps it trim on purpose. He looks at you with a somewhat snaggletooth grin and smiles, and he says, "Travelers, eh? What can I get ya?"
Food to go. Before.
Doggy bag. Should we have called ahead? I mean,
Food to go. Well,
Do you have an online app?
currently in development. No, he says, don't have a whole lot to choose from, I'm afraid. We've got some fine vegetable stock stew. And I think we got
Anything
some
meatier?
then we got some chicken.
Yes.
Hi, Kathy. Is there any chicken left? Yeah, there's still 2, I think. Yeah, we got 2 chickens.
Whole chickens.
Oh yeah, roasted, of course.
We will take the 2 whole roasted chickens. Put
Fair
them
enough.
in a bag.
Probably a lot easier to carry on the road than a bowl of soup.
Yes.
Tolkar could probably eat those 2 chickens himself.
Oh, did
Yeah,
you
I
guys
know.
want something?
yeah, that's not us. That's Tolgar's. Soup and chicken, that's it. So there's just soup.
Afraid so.
Okay,
Small country establishment like that. We're more known for our quality ale than we are the food, I'm afraid.
Excuse me?
Oh
Ale?
well, we're much more known for our ale.
I'll
All
take one of
home
those.
fresh brewed here in town.
Sounds delicious.
Maybe we can fill up a flagon of soup, I suppose.
Yes.
And
No, ale.
well, yes, but of course the ale as well. But
So we could eat quickly here and
We
then
need to eat
take some
something.
bread or cheese with us. I don't.
He says, we got some bread. I can do bread. Don't have any cheese though.
Do you have a rag?
Yeah. And he reaches into his apron, or the apron
I
belt,
was just gonna look at
and
him.
pulls out a slightly damp, kind of a brownish dishcloth and slaps it down onto the bar. There you go.
I'm just gonna hold up my hand. Emlen's gonna hold up his hands and say, "Because you got stains everywhere."
Oh, don't worry about that. It doesn't come out.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is it glowing?
Funny that, isn't it? You know, long story. I could tell you, but you wouldn't believe me if I did. So, just take my word for it. It's perfectly harmless. You can scrub it until your heart's content. It ain't going nowhere.
We could set a fire. And I'm gonna look at.
I'd rather you didn't set a fire. This is my establishment. Old Crow Tavern's been here for over 60 years.
Look, kind of rolls her eyes.
It would be a little fun just to, burn the blue away. Emlen's gonna keep smiling.
Emlen,
What?
wood catches fire.
I'm joking. Jeez.
This is as dry as this place is.
Just food, please, and ale. Bring it all.
So, 4 mugs of ale and 2 roast chickens in.
Laura's just sitting here like,
Fair enough. Alright, Kathy, when you get a minute, love, get them 2 chickens out the back. And he starts pouring pints into large wooden mugs. There you go. That'll be 4 copper for the ale and 2 silver for the chickens. Got some comfy straw beds if you're interested in staying the night.
No, thank you.
I know you said you were looking to have it on the road, but...
So why would you offer us beds?
Well, you're looking at about 2 days south if you're trying to get to Pentearth, and about 3 days north if you're trying to get to, if you're trying to get on to Soromorn. Either way, you got 2 or 3 days before you're going to get another opportunity for a nice, comfy bed.
Is Soromorn seedier and crappier than this place?
Well, what do you mean, seedier or crappier?
Well, Soromorn. I mean, who names their town Soromorn?
That's historic. It was a fortress once.
Shitty?
No, it was a fortress.
I apologize. I'm just having a little fun.
This is,
We've been on the road a lot.
Really funny. If you'd like my opinion of Soromorn, it is, well, it's a walled town. It's considerably larger, more strategically positioned. Has a little bit more of the gold, as it were, than Crow Bluff here.
Liv's quick thoughts of purified food and that she did not take that this morning comes to her head. Because he was just insulting the bartender. And she thinks that he's Emlen.
oh, I get it.
She's like, I didn't take purify. Oh, man. This could end up horrible. Oh, well.
He says, well, Israel and Kathy over there will have them chickens out to you. I'll wrap them up in a cloth for you.
Emlen's going to take out 2 gold and put it on the table and say thank you.
How has the weather and traffic been from both of those areas?
At the 2 gold, pauses for a moment, almost like he's expecting you to whip it back, and then really quickly with his left hand, he suddenly flashes out real fast, whoosh, snatches him off the table and stuffs him in his apron before you have a chance to grab him from him. Sorry about that, miss. You were saying?
How's the weather and traffic been from both of those locations?
Well, I don't know. I can only tell you about what it's like here. But, well, you know yourself. It's been pretty hot and humid here in the late summer months. Traffic-wise has been, well, the usual traffic. Road going up and down from here to Candlein. No one ever, we don't get a whole lot of traffic here. Most people just travel on straight through. But there are a few people, those 3 over there that Kathy's taking care of right now, I think they just, they blew down in from up north.
Liv, does one of those slow looks to make sure they're not the bounty hunters.
Clearly not.
Interesting. So everything has been fine. No worries about any of those roads at all. No stories have been told.
Normal stuff. I mean, had a few rough sorts come through here, but since the war and all that. You know how it is.
Of course.
You know, a steady influx of mercenaries coming this way, and you know, well,
Where are the
handful of
mercenaries?
unsavoury individuals that apparently needed to get as far away from Iridian as they possibly could.
Any idea where those mercenaries were headed to?
Nah, those sort usually keep themselves to themselves. They don't ask questions, and neither do I. But
I
you can always
understand.
tell the sort, you know, salty-looking bastards, tatty armour, big weapons.
Just don't want to run into any of those sorts on the road. Thanks for the heads up.
At that point, Kathy comes over with a cloth with what you can assume to probably be 2 fairly large hens, and she sits them down on the table. She goes, "There you go."
Thank
I'm gonna
you.
reach across and take it. And hold it close. We'll be off
Never
then.
let it go. Okay. He says, "Well, pleasure to have made your acquaintance. Was you heading north or south? You never did say.
Oh,
South.
no, south.
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 Ah, off to see the,
north.
off to the ocean, eh? Down there for the salty, fresh air of Candlewind. Oh, fun place to visit, but keep your hand on the old money purse. You know what they say about Candlewind. A lot of light-fingered individuals down there.
They say it's a seaport city. Yes.
That's a seedy place, is Candlewind. You know, you go into a tavern, a couple of friendly folk buy you a bunch of drinks. Next thing you know, you wake up on a ship somewhere, 20 miles out on the ocean, press ganged, and no way to get out unless you do
Personal
your job.
experience.
Oh, just rumours. You know how it is. People talk.
Long story, though, I imagine.
Well,
Like the blue.
well,
long as we're
no,
not
very,
kidney
very
stealers.
different story. You know, the press ganging's very believable. What happened here is not.
Interesting. And Emlin's just gonna back up and with his ale in hands.
So have a good night
Follow
then.
him.
Thank you. On the candle one. All the food has been gotten and we're exiting.
Alrighty, okay. So you head back out into the village of Crow Bluff, and you're going to carry on, I'm taking it, so you just literally, you spent 30 minutes or so here, freshened up the horses, stretched your legs, and off northward again, huh?
Away we go.
Let's do
Get your coconuts out. Okay.
I watched that movie the other day.
Oh, nice.
Such a good movie. Holy
Alrighty.
Hand Grenade of Antioch.
Okie dokie. Well, you head out of town, traveling northwards in the direction that you assume is Corthan. Okay. As I said, it was late afternoon by the time you got here, so you want to... How far into the night do you wish to travel?
You want to do it to like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, or do we want
So
to
we
sleep
we
later?
just gonna go until we can't.
Go until the
Till we
horse.
can't.
Yeah,
Till
until
the horse loses its trot.
Until you kill the damn horse. Okay.
Yeah.
No, let's not do that. Let's not kill the horse.
Till it gets really tired.
All right. Okay. Well, you travel on for many more hours. You know, there's even less moonlight than there was before. So it is even more difficult to see. You are also noticing that up ahead of you, you can see kind of like a dark shade on the horizon. Hoots can clearly tell you that you are approaching what appears to be a small wooded area, and that the road is going to travel directly through the center of it.
I could probably see that too.
If you're
My
awake and
vision's
looking, then yes, you can.
Okay.
Only Hoots can see it, damn it. I'm feeling Hoots' glory.
Yeah, you close your eyes. You go back to sleep in your cart.
I say we go into the woods and possibly, with your great axe, topple some trees and cross the road.
Ah,
Slow their
what
progress.
a good plan.
I like this. Yes.
Alrighty. Okay, so that's the game plan. So you push on to the edge of the forest or the woods. The road winds fairly neatly through it, so clearly, long time ago, someone cut the trees clear to make a path. So you want to topple a few trees down across the main road.
Tell me, Liv, are they just on horseback or do they have carts?
What does Hoots remember
They
saying?
were on horseback.
So
They were on
if
horseback.
they can just jump over these unless we do it
Yeah.
strategically.
And perhaps we should maybe make a hole on the other side with some trappish kind of items in it
There we
to
go.
perhaps
Yes.
break the horse's legs.
We
Which
topple
would
the
be
trees,
horrible for the animals.
Topple it so they
Feels
have
so
to
bad.
jump
then
some
when
kind
they
of
jump-
pit and then put something over it so they don't
I
know.
like it.
Well, I just
Yes.
noticed something. I better double check something here.
I
'cause,
like it. You start digging, I'll start toppling trees.
Or what's wrong?
I just noticed that we do not have one of the alerts running. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Where is it? Where's the folder for it?
Liv turns to Emlyn and says, Emlyn, I noticed that we've been spending gold pretty frivolously. And some of these
Pixel Brain, thanks for follow.
lower end communities,
Oh, not that.
this might show them that we have money or that we are outsiders.
Where is
We
it?
don't really want to be drawing attention to ourselves. Perhaps we should just only pay them a little bit more than what they're asking for and not 2 gold pieces more. Or 1. Or 1.5.
Do you know who you're talking to?
I only know
Oh my
a
God.
couple of months.
Ooh, how
I'm sorry.
snooty.
I am the
What
very
is that?
definition of an outsider. There's no doubt in their minds that we do not belong wherever I go.
All I'm saying is I don't want them to I don't want us to have more attention drawn to us than we already have.
Fair enough. In that case, you pay them in the future.
Oh, there it is. Okay, 1 second.
Such a dick.
He is a dick.
I'm sorry, Amanda. Ellen is a dick.
Everybody
Yeah.
knows you're a dick. It's okay.
Well, you've done so
Do
well
you
in
know who you're
negotiating.
talking
I
to?
know. I had an apple in my mouth to make it more assholiness.
And then did you
All
throw
right,
it
hold on
again?
a second.
I took a bite and then I threw it, yeah.
That was for the horse, Emlyn.
You really do suck. All right, there we go.
I would start chopping down a tree if we're there yet.
Okay.
Liv recalls the words of Lilith a couple of days ago and starts to really consider her deity.
All right, so you want to chop a tree down. Okay. So give me a strength check. Let's see how... It's not whether you can or can't. I want to see how long it's going to take you to chop the tree down.
Okay.
Can Liv cast guidance on her first or him first?
Yeah.
It's an ability check, so absolutely.
What is that?
Maybe he will
That's
swing the axe more true.
+1.
No, it depends on what...
There you go.
Can we also make sure that we're past the tree that you're toppling down, so we don't fuck ourselves
You're
over?
like, oh, wait a second, we
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
get the car over here now. All right.
Right. We'll make sure we're on the other side.
Okay, so Olivia is going to roll a d4, and that is what you get to add, so it depends.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to add 3
All right.
to the ability check.
Yes.
All
really
right.
need it.
Well, it
But
does
yeah.
not take you long to bring a tree down at all with a few very well strategically placed chops of the tree. You bring a large ash tree right down across the path.
Perfect.
While he was doing that, I imagine the rest of us were digging like a pit, like a couple feet wide and deep.
Right,
So
and we're
horses try to
pointing-
jump. Yeah.
Tossing
and
stones
do we
and
wanna
sharp
take
sticks.
some sticks and kind of like,
Sorry for
Interleave
everybody
them.
else that isn't a bounty hunter that comes through here.
well, we don't care about that. We just,
Yes,
Oh, we're
Love
very
it.
selfish. It doesn't matter.
yeah, and we want to like definitely hide the
expendable.
whole hide the hole.
Collateral
with,
damage.
Right. Okay.
So,
So,
yeah,
um,
deep pit sticks that go like this,
in the time
and
it
then, like, a layer
takes,
of leaves.
in the time it takes Tolgar to fell the ash tree, what are you guys going to dig a trench with?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What's
Power of our mind.
Mage hand.
Lula's gonna whip it with her whip, you know, and it's
Mage hand pushing 10 pounds pressure of dirt.
Yeah.
Lilith
Rolls a
is
few
super
pebbles
wise,
out the
she's
way.
She just kind of stands to the side and snaps her whip. Faster, knaves!
Yeah.
Well,
She can be
obviously
your
the
motivation.
Construction worker that doesn't work standing
Right.
watching. So
Yeah.
And
So,
the foreman, yes.
yeah, it's the ground is incredibly dry because it hasn't been raining because it's summer.
yeah.
Doesn't seem like it wants to dig very well, and without any reasonable tools, poking around with your sword and your axes and stuff, it's like this is gonna take forever.
All right. So
Just make the
let's
ground
see.
a little uneven. So if the
No,
horse jumps over
I
it, they'll
can
have to
definitely
stumble.
transform into an animal and help this along.
Oh,
We just
I knew it. I'm old.
concentrate.
Emily's
gonna
gonna
go-
take Lilith's whip and go, "You can do it, Dave."
You're
So
not
Liv-
proficient with the weapon, so you take your eye out.
I like whip it around my horn or something ridiculous. Yeah.
Liv takes her clothes off and puts it in the cart and hands Lilith her bag, and she transforms into a tiger, and she's
Okay.
going to start doing what tigers do and
All
dig.
right. Okay. The good news is the tiger can definitely dig a lot more proficiently than you guys can. That being said, to do any good, it's probably going to take a good hour or more.
I say do it if it can work.
can Hoots go check real quick? Just
Absolutely.
see how
Who's
far.
can go, but I don't know. He's not going to.
He's not going to see him that far off. No.
Oh, are they that far?
Well, unless they've gained a lot of ground.
While you know what, while we're traveling, we should probably have some sort of communication thing going on with Liv on how she can communicate with you guys. Like 1 word for want and 2 for whatever, or
What?
because who's gonna tell her things, but she's gonna just
Oh,
be a cat. You're not gonna have any idea what she's
Oh.
saying.
right.
Just dig your hole now.
Yeah, 1 meow means yes, 2 meows means no,
Fucking
3 meows means run.
Alright.
Alrighty.
Meows are real.
So,
Yeah.
Tolgar, seeing as they're going to be digging a hole across, like a small trench across the road, spending an hour, what do you want to do?
I'm
You want
gonna
to
go
assist them with
gather
that, or you
some-
want to drop more trees? What's the game
No.
plan?
I'm gonna go gather some. Are the trees around here? Does anything have large leaves, or are there just twigs and stuff?
No, most of these, I mean, there's not really large leaves, because most of this is like pine forest. But, I mean, there's a lot of pine straw.
Oh yeah, I'll collect some straw then.
Maybe Emlyn will take the grain bags that the horse consumed, the food, and use it to lay out over the path. They can cover with leaves,
Yeah.
so it's like more groundy looking,
Yeah.
Okay.
maybe. Some stuff like that.
Alright, so,
It's not gonna work.
Probably not.
But we're doing it anyway.
the question is, it really just
Right.
depends on how efficient you want to be. I mean, an hour, you've probably got about a 2 foot to 3 foot trench that's maybe a couple of feet deep that's going across. You know,
That's about as much as Emlyn would want. He would probably tell everyone to like, let's go.
okay. So you're just going to kind of leave it, basically the tree's over there, and the hope is that someone's going to jump over the tree, and the horse is going to stumble down into the hole, and bad things are going to happen.
Yeah, break its leg, you know,
Yeah, you can hope.
slow him down.
All right. Okay, so a good 60 to 90 minutes later, you have achieved this. Did it buy you 90 minutes of delay is the question.
Maybe a
more.
broken horse leg.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So,
That's the risk, but
all right.
We're gonna push on, right? Afterwards, the
Yes.
horse, yeah.
Okay. You continue following the path into the early wee hours of the morning. you notice up ahead there's a small kind of hillock
Just noticed your face.
with a pond at the bottom of it.
Okay.
The pond is not huge, but it's kind of sitting there off to the left-hand side of the road. At the back of the pond, it's kind of like the dirt is built up maybe about 20 or 30 feet to a small bank. Just then you notice out to the side on the right a faint glow in the distance. The glow appears to be that of an incredibly small fire.
What does Liv smell? And tiger form?
She can smell something burning.
Okay.
Let's do some rolls. Skill checks. Rolls.
Send your owl. Liv.
And let me
Liv can send the owl, but you guys won't know what the owl's gonna say.
let me go ahead and...
Oh, you're a
What the
tiger.
hell is that? Okay, hold on.
But she sends her owl that way. But
Well,
she's also gonna use her own senses.
How long did we travel post transformation for Liv?
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just asking, like, how far beyond our trap?
Probably about an hour.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So how much time does Liv have left?
Indefinite.
Oh, it's a... No, I thought there was a time limit for
Yeah,
transformation.
I think there is a time limit, but I forgot what it is too.
For... hang on.
It's,
Oh, you mean for how long you can be a tiger? Oh, I think you're still within your time limit for that.
yeah, I think, yeah. It's not like we haven't gone a day or anything. Ooh.
No, it's only been an hour.
Do that when
Move
you're
my
about to
hand.
pounce. Do that
I
when
know,
you're about to
I
pounce.
didn't know that's what it would do.
Alright.
Okay, so I want to use my nose to smell anything other than fire, I guess. Let's see.
Okay, so go ahead and give me a roll then.
Perception.
A perception.
Expertise.
It smells like tobacco.
I'm going to ask Emlyn, what do you see?
I see a hut with...
Guys.
I see what you see.
I know, I was thinking the same thing. I see skies of blue.
I mean, we could just go past it. How's the horse look?
Your horses. I mean, it just got a good hour's rest, so you guys are more tired than it is.
Let's try to just move past these people without gaining attention to ourselves.
Lilith, do you agree?
Yeah, we have no reason to stop.
All right.
Okay. And there's nothing,
Alright.
as long as there's nothing weird about the smell other than tobacco and fire.
We'll go at a normal pace across, not too quick, not
Okay.
too slow.
Well, as you get closer, you see it is a small kind of thatch woven cottage with a wooden deck. Sitting in a wooden rocking chair is a very short little fellow with a rather stubby little pipe in his mouth.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Liv flattens her body to the cart. So
He jumps up and he
Do we know
crosses
who
his
this
arms
is?
and he says, "You're late." No,
Oh!
okay.
I'm gonna keep my head down, kind of eyes towards the road, and just keep going.
Alright. As you get level with him, he just kind of looks up at you and
Jeez.
that's an
How-
interesting cat you've got there. Never seen one quite that big before.
We overfed it.
Apparently.
We
What?
wanted it at a circus.
loudly starts to purr.
I keep moving past him, hoping the conversation will end as we gain distance on him.
When he realizes you're not particularly interested in having any conversation, he just kind of says, "Well, pleasant night to you." And he watches you just ride on past.
So much for not drawing attention to ourselves.
Runs inside, gets on the telephone. Doot, 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 doot.
Hello, bounty hunters. Yes, one was a cat. I definitely believe that these are the people you're looking for.
Alrighty. Okay.
These are not the droids you
You continue on, as you said, until the very, very late hours. By now, you are all pretty much exhausted. Bouncing around on these rough old ropes on a horse and cart takes it out of you.
Guess try to get a couple hours.
Yeah, maybe get off the path a bit. Several.
All right.
Like
You want to stay inside the woods? Because it's about 2
Yeah.
hours through the woods. You want to stay on the edge of the woods, or you want to get through the woods?
Edge of the woods. So,
Edge of the woods.
yeah, cover. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay. Liv's gonna transform back into human nakedness, and then put her clothes back on,
Human naked form.
and say we need to make sure that we cover our tracks when we're going in off the trail.
Well, whatever we could do to do that. That's
Okay. So you pull the
about-
cart off the edge of the road. You can't. I mean, if you're staying in the
I just get nervous when you hear the dice hit the table.
if you're staying in the woods, you can't get very far off the road. I mean, you can only get maybe just the cart to the edge of the road, because there's probably not but 10 feet between the side of the road and the trees. The trees are dense enough to where there is no way you could lead the horse through them, but there's no way you're dragging a cart through there.
just leave the cart at the side of the road. I'll sleep in the cart again.
All right. How long you guys
I
want to
join
sleep
you
for?
in the cart.
You say you just want to get like a couple of hours?
Well, that's what Emily's going to try to do. Yeah, sleep a little bit.
All
I don't know about the rest of you guys.
We don't need to sleep. We're fine. Who needs sleep to recover their spells? Psh.
Right. Well,
No.
you'll get your shapeshift back either way.
I know. I'm just.
But I don't even think you've cast any spells, so you're good.
No. I'm just.
Just an hour then. An hour's
Just,
rest. I'll feed the
fine.
horse and give it more water.
Okay, and then you guys are going to push on.
Yes.
All right, everybody give me a Constitution check, please.
Okay.
Because at this point, if you're only taking an hour...
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Tolgar.
Wait, why is... I rolled a 15.
You rolled a 15.
That's what my screen said, but I guess it's an 11.
It says... The macro says you rolled a 7.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Fine.
It was Liv that rolled the... Dice just rolled the 15.
Oh.
So you
that-
probably
that
saw
was
her
probably
dice
it.
roll.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Dystress and Lilith, seeing as most of the time you guys have really just been lounging around in the back of the cart, I guess you're the most rested anyway. You probably had cat naps here and there, literally. Tolgar,
Rods. She was just sleeping like.
yeah. Tolgar, you are starting to feel grumpy, a little agitated because you're not well rested. You're getting a little sore from bouncing up and down. Emlyn, on the other hand, you are really
Fucking
feeling the
Emlyn.
wear and tear of all this long travel on the road. You're basically any perception checks, anything that requires reflexes or whatever. With a 6, you're going to be at a -2.
Alright.
So
Sounds about
temporarily, you're on a -2 on any kind of perception checks because you're literally just not that mentally awake anymore. You're pretty lagged and tired. Alrighty. The sun comes up as you continue to clip-clop along the heavy road. So for passers-by, people that are coming in your direction, are you pretty much just going to try to keep a low profile and go straight by them, not paying any attention, or what's the deal?
Yeah.
I think I learned from my last one encounter, and if someone passes by, I'm going to look at them and just do a slight head nod and continue,
Right, okay.
and not completely ignore them.
Right, but you're not gonna
not
make
gonna
any
try to
effort
talk.
to stop
Yeah.
every single horse, caravan, wagon. Okay.
Emlyn's just gonna do this.
Alright.
Emlyn,
Well,
I suggest...
I mean, on an average day, you probably pass anywhere between 10 and 20 different people, either on horse, pulling caravans behind them, pulling carts, wagons, all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, it's a reasonably busy road, but it's not like it's constant, you know. All right. Another full day's travel. At this
Someone's
point,
sleeping on the
Constitution
cart or
rolls
what?
or not, all of you are going to be suffering.
Okay, damn it.
Because a lot of you, that is almost 48 hours with only an hour's rest, and doing this
Again, Lilith used to it.
with no suspension, Lilith. But with absolutely no suspension and nothing but hard wood beneath you, your backs are going to be aching.
I'm sorry, Gord.
The Freudian slip, I don't know. But yeah, so you can continue to push it if you wish, but you are all going to start having, there will be considerable minuses to be applied if you continue to fight it.
I think it's time to go to sleep.
So you can get about to midday, and then literally, Tolgar, you're sitting there.
So, we'll do this in shifts then? Sleeping in shifts? We probably should have been anyways.
Yeah, someone needs to take.
And what's Hoot see
Watch.
in back of us and in front of us?
He can see a stream of people behind, heading in the opposite direction, and in front.
What does our food look like? Do we have food?
You had 2 chickens a couple of days ago.
So we probably do need to eat.
But it's kind of like sleeping on the back of a cart. It's not the same as sleeping, because the damn thing is just like constantly. And bearing in mind, these roads are just carved out dirt. This is not like paved. So it is like constantly something will throw you and wake you up a little bit. It's just not the same. So, you can get some sleep on the back of the cart, but it's not like rest. It'll get you by.
Along the roads, do we see anything to eat, or can Liv make a perception check or a nature check to see if she can find any food, like berries, nuts, fruit?
Now you're out on the open plains, probably not.
Okay.
Again, thinking back, you're like, oh crap, when we were in those woods, I bet there would have been some wild blackberries, I bet there would have been some nuts. Oh.
Dang.
Once again, it's like, woulda, coulda, shoulda. This is the
well.
party of forever thinking of, it's always like afterthoughts.
All right.
And it's nighttime again or evening?
It is midday.
Okay,
Midday.
midday. I heard those noises. I thought it was night.
Any place where there's some shade?
If you keep going, periodically you can find, you'll find little crops of trees and stuff like that.
Okay.
Enough to maybe, mosey on under and get a little bit of shade.
So I'm going to say the next time we pass by one or near one, let's try to sleep in there. We take turns sleeping.
Okay. All right, how many hours you guys want to try to catch?
6 to 8.
6 to 8?
Six to 8.
If you're going to
We don't
go
need to
6 to
refresh
8,
any
you're probably
spells,
going to
right?
get a vote of 8 then.
Or do we?
Because that's
Does
an
anyone
actual
need
proper
8?
long rest. Is anyone still down on hit points? Because you've had a couple of short rests.
Oh, probably not.
So I think everyone's probably full up on hit points right now, at the very least.
Yeah.
I guess we'll go for 8. We'll try for a long rest.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
How long
Take the first
How long
one.
do we think, based on Liv's knowledge of nature and how things move, how far did she think the bounty hunters are away from her or them?
Basically, trotting on a horse is typically going to be faster than moving on cart. It's really not about that. It's whether or not they stopped in the town. Did they rest in town? Did they stay the night in the tavern? It's all these unknowns. In theory, if they're moving at the same pace as you, if they're resting when you are, they should darn not be on top of you by now.
Okay.
That being said, Hoots cannot see a group of 5 horses heading in the same direction as you behind you.
Good to know. Alright, let's do that rest thing in shifts.
Yes, I'll take first watch.
Or do we want to just have Hoots watch?
I don't trust a fake owl to watch during these tough times.
You've trusted Hoots all of this
stay
way,
away.
all of this time.
Or we
I
just
know.
went along with it.
I'll take first watch. I'll wake you up in a few hours.
Alrighty.
Very well.
Okay. Well, you can go through the night, or the afternoon, as it were, till the mid-evening. It'll be around 8, 9 o'clock at night by the time you all rest through. At this point, obviously, it's too dark for Hoots to see too far behind, so he doesn't know if he can't really see if the bounty hunters are back there too far away. They're not right behind you. He can tell you that much. But you are all now fully rested, so you are in good shape to carry on throughout the entire night if you wish.
Yes.
I think that's what we're doing.
All right. So on the overhead map, let me show you guys. This is where you are. Okay, so here's where you left Crow Bluff. Here was you traveled through this area here. There's the little pond in the house. You stuck through here. Okay, you have traveled through... Well, before I was about to say you've traveled through this kind of hillside area. The hills are a good distance away from the road, probably about several hundred yards. Is there anything you specifically want to do?
I'm gonna see if there's any nuts, berries, or any medicinal things that I can find.
Okay. So you basically want to get off and run alongside the cart and just have a check around. Okay, go ahead. Give me a check.
Okay. What would you like? A perception check? Investigation?
It would be... You're going to be really, at this point, probably just using perception, yeah. Alright, okay, yeah, you do find, you do find a few wild raspberries, edible. You find a few kind of, plants that you believe to be, with the right skill, you could make something a little bit antiseptic with them and stuff like that, so... probably enough for 3 or 4 doses if you apply this necessary skill and get all the other ingredients together.
Okay, she picks up one of the medicinal herbs and she looks at it, and then she kind of recalls a story of how she had got her purple hair from Shroomy, her mentor. It was a prank to teach her a lesson, and she remembers it fondly. And the thought occurs to her, it'd be really nice to see Shroomy. I hope he didn't die. But I think he made it alive because he left a note saying right before I left and went with the noble guy that he was in search of other things. So he probably is still alive out there somewhere.
Alrighty. Okay, you gather that back up, jump back on the cart, continue on. As I said, it's kind of like when you woke up, it was kind of 8-ish, around that sort of time. You carried on. Eventually, you start noticing the road is taking a fairly steep incline as it rears up around what appears to be a large kind of cliff face to your right. The road continues to go around the edge of the cliff face. Once you kind of come up to the top, it joins a much more robust road. This is actually more of a kind of like a artificially stoned road. It actually has some gravel. It's not just ruts. It's it's not smooth, but it doesn't have all the huge ruts and bumps like the other road did. Directly to the south of that, you can see a large walled, probably some kind of like walled town. Guessing that would be Saramorn, based on what you were told. And of course, continuing northwards along the main road would lead you in the direction of Korthan.
Interesting.
How far south is Saramorn on this road?
45 minutes to an hour. At a good pace.
And our food supply is dwindling?
It's next to non-existent, other than a small handkerchief full of raspberries that Liv just pulled up.
And I'm eating them. And not offering. I'm just eating them.
As the last raspberry pops in her mouth, she's like, "Did you want one?" Yep. Okay. So yeah, you are pretty much out of any decent food. Short of eating horse grain.
We need to stop at this town.
But they do. But it's an hour south.
I know.
we basically lose 2 hours of whatever we gained if they do come up the road behind us.
We can hunt.
Do
Hunt.
we want to hunt and kill and then cook, which would probably take more time, or get ourselves into mischief in the town, which also could take more time?
Our options are not good. I don't know what to do.
Get the magic 8 ball out.
I think we have to go into town.
I agree. I don't want to hunt.
The biggest problem with
Other
hunting is,
people
other than
hunt.
in the woods,
Other
all this
people hunt,
open
so I
plain
don't
stuff
have
is
to.
not very good for hunting anyway.
Okay.
All right, let's go to
into
town.
town.
Alrighty. Well, as I said, 45 minutes to an hour. Tolgar, if you wish to
Yes.
make a check, maybe with some skillful riding, you might be able to trim that. You might be able to trim that time down.
Okay. A animal handling check or what?
Sure.
I get to roll, yay!
Oh.
Yay!
Let me pull that over here.
I
All right.
tried.
What'd you get? A 9, is a 13. Okay, it's favorable. So you're doing better than not. So you shave about 10 minutes. You pretty much, with a fairly fresh horse, you really crack the proverbial whip on it, and you get to the edge of the gates at around 35 minutes of travel. All right.
Yeah.
I fear fun coming on. Okay, so here you are, guys, as you enter the city. Or it's not really a city, it's just a very large town. The town of Sorrowmorn. Okay, as you approach, there are 2 huge, big wooden gates. There are guards, 2 of them, standing with large crossed pikes across the road as you approach, barring the
Nice.
way for you and your horse and cart.
I slow the cart to a stop and look up at them and nod.
Alright.
Shutters, Gore?
Oh, sorry, yeah. Maybe you'd
And I'm
like to
hoping
play.
that before we got to the gate, Liv would have pulled her hood on.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could see them up. You could see them before you approach, so you've got time to pull hoods over and stuff like that. Alrighty. Okay, so you slowly go up to them.
Yes.
They prominently hold out their massive pikes to instigate and show you that you are to stop.
Okay.
They wait to see if you do or don't before we're doing anything else.
Yes.
Okay. Once you do that, one of them lowers the pike, and the other one just kind of comes and stands in the middle with his pike firmly in the center of the road. He comes around to your side, Tolgar, looks up at you, and he says, "Evening.
Evening.
Welcome to Sorrowmorn. You been here before?"
I have not, thank you.
"What about you?" And he kind of glances at everybody else in the back of the cart.
Lynn just shakes his head.
Says, "Fair enough. We run a very law-abiding town here in Sorrowmorn. Have to check what you're bringing into the city. Anything you need to declare? Anything we need to be aware of?"
Of course. We just have our standard weapons.
No problem with anybody holding a weapon to defend themselves, as long as you don't brandish it in public in a threatening manner or do any harm to anybody that's innocent.
We do not plan on doing any harm.
Any cargo? Any...
Just some horse feed.
Okay. There is a very small tax to merchant wagons, but you don't appear to have anything that would justify charging you that. So,
Swing my axe at his neck. Just kidding.
okay. Hey, I know some DMs
Like
that
it's
wouldn't
in
have
the
allowed you to
okay.
take that back.
Jeez. Oh man.
Roll the dice. No, roll it. You said it. Roll it. No. Okay.
Right? They're
Yeah.
like,
He.
we want to see the 20s. Come on.
Yeah, that's why you roll the 20, right?
We pay no taxes.
He says,
How much?
well, no. He said, as I said, you don't appear to have anything that would warrant us charging you a merchant tax.
Ah.
He said, we just charge it's a small fee, a couple of copper pieces for people that come in loaded down with stuff that they plan to sell. It's easier to charge at the gate than it is to try to keep tabs of people inside the city. But, needless to say, you, come on in and, enjoy yourselves. It's pretty late, though. We lock the gates here in about 30 minutes.
30 minutes. We look towards them. We just want to grab food and then leave. Can we do that?
Well, and he kind of turns and points to this building right here. He said, well, that's the Hillcrest Inn. You can probably get in and out inside of 30 minutes if you're quick. Now, that being said, you are allowed in and out after 30 minutes. We just shut the gates.
What's out there after 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, just a curfew.
Oh, just a
So
curfew.
you do not allow
Crazy
anyone
animals.
No. We just check to see who it is that wants to come wandering into the city in the early wee hours of the morning before we allow them to travel any further.
in? I see.
Keeping the city safe.
Exactly
Smart.
right. One of the fortunate things about living in a town that was originally a fort, these fine walls were designed to repel attacks against armies. Oh yes, no wanton scallywag is gonna get inside of Saramorn unless we want them to, or get out nonetheless.
It's a gated community.
Absolutely.
Should I put a sticker on the horse?
You know,
Yeah, hold your wrists
there's
out,
crazy
stamp.
evil people out there.
Right? Okay, he says, and anyway, if you do decide you need to leave, don't know quite why you'd want to at this hour, but just, you can head out through the southern gate, or the, come back through this gate, whichever you prefer. Have a good evening. On your way.
Good day. I'm gonna speed the horse back up, get him in there.
All right. So as you enter into the town proper, to the right appears to be the ruins of some very old stone building. When I say ruins, it's barely, there's no roof left. It's just rudimentary walls. Beyond that, a fairly illustrious-looking town stretches out before you. You can see a prominent marketplace immediately across to your right. There is, as I said, the inn is almost immediately in front of you to the left. There is a church to St. Cuthbert that can be seen flying very clear colours down the road to the right. Beyond that, it's just a haze of buildings laid out in front of you on the darkened streets.
Okay.
The
I'll
faint
head towards
glow.
the tavern.
Alrighty. Okay. You arrive outside the Hillcrest Inn. It is just before midnight.
Perhaps one person should run in and grab food so we could get out of here quickly. Without people stopping to talk to us.
We should probably go in twos, I would think. So maybe me and Lil.
Stay safe.
Keep my hood down.
All right.
Okay,
And
so
Lilith,
Tolgar
you
and
should
Emlyn
probably
going to
be
stay
there.
outside?
Sure.
Yeah.
You should
Well,
be
maybe-
the one asking.
Maybe go to the well and get,
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a very large and low well over to the
Of
side here.
course.
Alright.
Fill up our drinks.
I'm moving through too many
Okie dokie.
towns. I don't have backgrounds. There's one.
Alright. The hill.
That's a Google image search.
So here we are, we'll have the two ladies coming in here.
Ah.
Alright.
Forgot.
Okay, let me go
Oh
ahead
my
and
god.
change out some noise here.
What is going on in here?
Okay.
Oh,
Alright,
I
one
love you,
second.
Gar.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Okay.
there's no way you guys don't see that.
That's so awesome. What is he
I
doing
thought
here?
you might see that.
Okay. You wander into the tavern. It's a fairly large and well-constructed place. It's got, kind of like stone walls. There's a stone staircase that leads upstairs to the upper levels. Tables litter around the main center. There is a prominent bar, and even at this late hour, it still seems to be fairly well-to-do. There is a skillful woman with brown hair and rather well-endowed as she flits quickly from table to table, taking order after order. Okay.
Well,
Everybody seems to be in a fairly jovial mood.
Soromorn is a strange name for a place like this.
I would say so. Well, let's get the food, I suppose.
Yes. Yes.
Alrighty. Okay, you make your way around to the bar. Fellow smiles at you and he says, "Evening, love. Charlie Rudd's the name. Welcome to the Hillcrest Tavern and Inn. What can I get you this evening?"
Oh, we just need a few rations to take with us. What are you having serving for dinner tonight?
Ah, well, you name it, love. We've got it all. Never used to be much, but Cassandra here, she's turned into quite the cook. And he kind of points at this tall, kind of buxom, very, very attractive woman that seems to have several cold sores around her lip.
Oh, God.
This woman right here.
Oh my god.
So, Easter eggs for long-time viewers. But in any
Lilith is
case,
just gonna kind of be like,
he says, so,
and then she sees that, she's like,
you name it. Roast beef, pork, fish, chicken, lamb. We've got it all. Vegetable, however you want it, pretty much. We can do it for you. Of course, if you want something that we've already got prepared, we've got some roast boar. We can provide you some of that, carve you off some meat. Fruit and veg, of course.
Thinks about what Tolgar would want and says, probably all of that.
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem, my dear. Well, we'll...
for dinners?
So just for the two of you then.
We
A few others.
I'm sorry, my love, you have to speak up.
A supply for 4?
6? A
For
supply
six.
for 6.
6? Oh,
6.
6.
Fair enough.
Right, over.
Yeah, we can knock up 6 ample meals for some hearty young lasses like yourselves. Why don't you go ahead and grab a seat, and we'll have it over to you as soon as we can. You want a drink while you wait? No?
Wine.
Oh, we've got
No
some
wine?
fine
Okay.
wine. Yes, indeed. Red or white, my dear?
Oh, red.
Is it a nice claret, a ruby?
Yes. Ruby.
What about you? What can I get for you, my dear?
A nice mead would be lovely. Thank
Mead?
you.
Oh, yes, we've got some fine mead as well. No problem. Well, make your way to a table and Sally or Cassandra here will bring your drinks over, and as soon as the food's ready, we'll get it ready for you. In the far corner of the tavern, you notice that everybody seems to be giving a fairly wide berth to this huge fellow here. He's about 6'2". He's wearing a huge, big, ornate, flowing blue cloak. Full field plate mail, like very, very shiny, very, very new, incredibly expensive. There is a morning star laying on the table next to him, and laying against the bench is a huge, big shield with a shiny kind of golden, almost like a golden sun motif on the front of it.
Seeing this, Lilith is going to lean across the table to Liv and say, "We don't want to draw that man's attention."
He's very
Understood.
dour. He's kind of like, you see, he's like just mopping up the last of what appears to be once was a plate of some kind of meat with a lot of gravy as he stuffs the last piece of bread into his mouth. And then he sits there and he's staring into the bottom of a glass, trying to contemplate if he
trouble.
wants to fill it up again.
Okay, so
There's about 4 empty glasses on the table as well.
Shit.
Whiskey.
He looks really sad, though.
Would
Yeah,
Lilith
he-
recognize the shield, the symbol on his shield?
Not the symbol on the shield, but quite possibly, the crest that's kind of on his chest, and a huge big thing hanging from his belt.
Right. So she
In all honesty, you
recognizes
you will recognize it because it's exactly the same as what matched the church as you rode in.
Right.
He's one of those.
Yeah, he would be a priest of St. Cuthbert, indeed.
A good goodie. Got it.
And is Maleficent related to that priest of...
Maleficent.
Maleficent.
Well, let's just say if his deity and my deity were to meet, it wouldn't be pretty.
Oh. Okay.
Right.
Cuthbert doesn't stand... he would find us repulsive. Let's just say that.
Okay. The brown-haired woman with the with the large endowments, she comes swooping in like a with a small tray, and she's like, "One mead, one red wine. There you go.
Thank you.
Anything else? Fair enough." And then she zooms straight past you without a second thought, moves over here, and you hear her say, "I suppose you want another one then?" You see him look up, and he goes, "Yes. Maybe just one more." "One more? You said that 3 ago. Why don't I just bring you the bloody bottle?" "Sally, it's not the time." Yes, we all know you've been moping around for days, you miserable sod." You see him kind of like just put his hand up and dismiss her as she goes zooming back over here. She says, "His lordship would like the bottle." Fair enough.
God.
He hands her what appears to be about half-drunk bottle of whiskey. She snatches it, zooms over. Oh, literally zooms over. Slams it down next to him. And takes 3 of the glasses away, and then stops and pauses and thinks, "What's the bloody point?" And she takes the last glass away as well. She says, "You're not going to use the glass if there's a bottle, are you?" And that she moves and zooms back over to the bar. You just
Lilith
hear
is a little,
the large priest is just grumbling under his breath.
Lilith is a little taken aback by the treatment of this man that looks decorated with in the crests and everything, but she, of course, is not going to approach him because of obvious reasons. So the player part of me wants to know what's wrong with Radovan.
I'll tell you after the stream.
All right. Well, you realize that it is not just Radovan. This barmaid, Sally, seems to just be very abrupt with everybody. You know, she's very short, she's very quick to dismiss people, very quick to cut people off. But then, considering she is literally single-handedly running this taking care of all the punters in this entire establishment, it's amazing that she can do it at all. Realistically, they should probably have 3 or 4 barmaids, not just one.
You know, we are traveling an awfully long distance. Perhaps we should try to get some information while we're here.
Oh, didn't mean to do that.
Information about what, Olivia?
Whatever is going on, whatever the climate has to offer. We can either talk to the bartender or perhaps the drunk guy in the corner.
As I mentioned, we don't want to draw attention from him. He would turn us in if he knew who we were.
I see.
For certain.
Okay. Well, we can always talk to the bartender.
I suppose.
Or the waitress, I guess.
What sort of questions?
Well, just where we're going. What has changed in the last couple of months?
Lilith is frequently glancing over at the man in the chainmail. Or the plate mail rather. She's very uncomfortable right now.
Alright. Well, he takes another couple of long slugs of the whiskey. And he slides the stool out from underneath him. Notice that he's sitting at a large table that's designed for like 4 to 6, but he's there by himself. He slides the bench out. He gets up. Cracks his back. Stumbles a couple of steps as he kind of like steadies himself on the edge of the table. Takes a couple of deep breaths. Eyes carefully the bar. And then moves in a very straight, direct line over to it. He reaches in. Drops a handful of coins on the bar, which is probably more than enough to take care of whatever it was he drunk. And you hear him say, "If any of you care, the service is tomorrow.
What?
You can get the information from Fez." And then he just kind of walks out. At this point, you see Sally like, "Have a good evening, love," she says, which is like the first endearing thing you've heard her say to anybody all night. As he kind of just stops and looks at her out of the corner of his eye with a half smirk, heads his way out the door.
Well, I do need to find out information what's going on politically here. With the councilmen being so close, I need to find out who has what kind of power and who is here now.
I understand. Could be prudent to your situation. I'll follow your lead as far as questions go. Just remember, we do need to keep our heads down.
Of course. The thing is who do we trust here?
No one.
Who can you trust?
Do you think there'd be anybody you can find that maybe perhaps could give us information without turning us in?
Well, they don't need to know who we are to ask questions.
Very true. Okay, so Liv's gonna go towards the bar.
Okay. Well, as you're walking towards the bar, you see the very attractive young lady coming over with a small basket. Well, I say a small basket. It's a fairly large basket, actually. And she brings it and plops it down on the edge of the table. There's a gold and 3 silver, please.
Olivia grabs a gold and 3 silver. Actually, she grabs a gold and 5 silver? Sure.
So Cassandra's come over to us. Oh, great.
Yep, she just comes over and puts the hamper down.
What's going on in the city? Not just this one, but in the area around. As far as political views and whatnot.
Oh, you ask her?
Mm-hmm.
She says, "Oh, well, I don't know what you're talking about, political views. I'm a fairly simple girl myself, but, we've had a bit of bad news, I'm afraid."
What kind of bad news?
Well, the Father Davion Preen, he was the priest here for
it.
many, many years. Unfortunately, he passed away. He's got a particular importance to us here in town. Once upon a time, he wasn't very popular, but, well, a few years ago, we had a terrible... She kind of looks like she is checking to make sure no one's listening. She goes, "I'm not supposed to really talk about it. They don't like it when we do, but, she has we had a terrible malady where everybody got sick and nothing would cure it. There was a herbalist that was... Well, he was down in Crow Bluff that was sending up a tonic that he made, but all it really did was kind of deal with the symptoms, and several people started to get sicker and sicker and passed away. Well, you'll never find a more devoted town to the teachings of St. Cuthbert as you will here in Sorrowmorn, because several of them, even though they passed away to their illnesses, several of them were brought back to life by the power of St. Cuthbert. A valuable artifact was found and brought here to our town that it St. Cuthbert's favour, you can almost feel it, can't you? But it shines down. Even Sally over here. Sally was one that she passed away, she died, and she stands here now in front of us as right as rain.
Lilith is gonna adjust uncomfortably.
She said, the fact of the matter is that to think that the gods paid enough attention on our little town here, of course with the history of Sorrowmorn, there's no wonder at it. We have indeed really suffered. That's the name of the town, says it all really, Sorrowmorn. The fields of sorrow where centuries ago the great battle was fought and all of the children and husbands all died when this was nothing but a fortress. And we've never really had much luck. But the last couple of years have just been a blessing to us. Providence has really shined down on us. And trade has been restored. At one point the city itself or the town almost become completely destitute. After the malady and word of the sicknesses got out, no one would come here. And then there was this group of people came. And the tall fellow that was sitting over there in the chair, his name is Sir Radovan. He was with them. And they saved the town. And that's not all that they've done, if you believe what everybody says. But nonetheless, since then, he took it upon himself to try to help and bring our town back to prosperity. And he did so. And he was the one that found the artifact. And he brought it here. And since then, the priest has been able to use that, Father Davion Preen. But the more he used it and the more he brought people that had died unjustly back to life through this sickness, the sicker he became. And what once was a towering, virile man slowly withered away. And, but 2 nights ago, sadly, he passed. Radovan had come to visit. He hasn't been here before for a long time. I believe they said he was fighting off in the wars, but he came here because he was to undertake a pilgrimage. And, he got quite the welcome, I'm afraid, when his mentor had passed away. Him and Fez are arranging for a ceremony tomorrow. And if you are of a devout sort, maybe you should stay and pay your respects.
That is so sad. Thank you for the information. She completely ignores that last part.
Okay, she says, but between you and me, please don't tell anybody I told you about the sickness. They don't like us to talk about it. It's not a very pleasant thing. And, you know how people are. You start telling them that once upon a time this entire town was besieged by some incurable plague. Everybody suddenly gets worried about eating the food, drinking the water. But I assure you there's nothing wrong with anything. Not anymore.
When did he die?
A couple of nights ago. He'd been sick for weeks.
Okay. Has anybody gotten sick in the last couple of nights, days, 48 hours?
Well, a few people with summer colds and stuff like that, but nothing, terrible. Not like
nothing like it was before.
Oh no, the malady was a terrible thing. Everyone was just broken out in sweats, and even the priests couldn't heal us. No form of magical healing would work. Only this tonic. And then all of a sudden, one day after they came and they had some dealings with Ashlyn Main. He used to be a wizard that owned the tower here in town. And they had dealings with him. And then they left. And then he left almost immediately afterwards. And as soon as he left, everybody suddenly started getting better. It was almost like he was the cause of the sickness. Just his very presence being here in town was responsible for it.
Oh, okay.
Well, unfortunately, several people had died, but, as I said, it wasn't that long before, months later, the artifact was brought forth, and they say that it's one of the great artifacts of the religion of St. Cuthbert, a golden chalice that apparently St. Cuthbert drank from himself. And using this artifact, they were able to bring back certain individuals that had died, even though some of them had been in the ground for months. It was truly a miracle.
Sounds very interesting. The city has such an interesting lore and history to it. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Oh, no problem at all. As I said, it's a shame that you're not going to stay, but if you do end up changing your minds, as I said, the funeral's tomorrow. There'll be a procession, quite a thing.
Of course.
Well,
enjoy.
Evening then.
Head off. Yes.
And she heads off back behind the bar.
She said that guy was dead, right? The guy that probably caused the sickness are gone, and those boots probably safe?
I don't know. The whole conversation made me uncomfortable.
Well, let's get out of here. I don't really want to stick around for the funeral.
No. Particularly not if they're going to be a bunch of Cuthbert followers there.
Cuthbertarians.
But this actually might be good for us because there probably would be a lot of traffic in this area. As long as we keep a low profile. She kind of whispers that underneath her breath.
Oh.
Her thought process is maybe the procession would slow down the bounty hunters. So now would be a good time to get out of here.
What role would that be? Just knowledge or
Sure.
intelligence? Or
I would say you can use that as a knowledge check. In your line of work, that's something you would have come across.
Right, let's see. So that would be under...
You're going to want to make a... Well, actually, probably medicine.
Insight?
Medicine. Make a medicine check for me for what you're trying to do.
Oh, goodness. This isn't going to be high.
Roll the first 20, Spook. I believe in you.
Do it!
Oh, so close, but
Close.
yes.
Very close.
All right, you do know that yes, little oil of cloves and stuff like that is known to work wonders with cold sores. You've used it yourself.
All right.
Oh,
So,
man. That's not good.
I didn't say
Alright.
she used it on her, but some of her girls probably,
all right. So on the way out of the tavern, Lilith is going to kind of go a little to the side to where Cassandra is and say, Miss.
Yes.
Consider it a tool of the trade from one lady to another. All of clove works wonders.
Oh, she goes a little bit red, but then almost immediately her cheeks kind of flush straight out and she goes, "That's good to know, thank you. You don't happen to
very
have any, do
welcome.
you?"
Oh, not on me, I'm afraid, but it's not hard to come by.
She says, "Neither are these. But never
No,
mind.
Not at all.
Mother did say I should be a little bit more careful in my selections, but, a few drinks and I'm anybody's."
Sometimes we don't always make choices that, would stay the same the next morning after. I understand that.
She says, "Well, it was a pleasure to meet you, and I hope you have a pleasant evening. Do be
you too?
careful.
Of course.
The city's fairly safe. I don't think anybody would dream of, doing anything to piss off the priesthood tonight of all nights. But if you are going to leave town, just understand that there are several people that, do come and go, and, a rather unsavoury lot left out of here several hours ago this evening. So you wouldn't want to run into them on the road."
Certainly not. You never know who you're going to meet in the dark. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, well, she smiles and gives you a half curtsy. Alrighty. Okay.
Liv heard the unsavory part and automatically sends Hoots to scout above for the faces that she recalls. What the bounty hunters look like? Just in case. Although they're probably behind us.
Alrighty. Okay. So you head back out into the night. You can still see the horse and cart sitting across the street. Now, during this time, does Tolgar and Emlyn want to do anything while they were sitting and waiting, or are you just content to...
The only thing that Emlyn would have done is try to find a guard walking down the street. Because he wanted to ask
this
a question.
close to the guard, this close to the gate, that is not a problem.
Yeah, he would have avoided Radovan when he saw him. Just for the awkwardness that could have been, drunk Radovan and Emlyn talking to myself.
Dude,
Yeah,
if you'd have been dumb enough to do it, how awesome would that have been? One of your other characters kills this character. Killed by your own character. But there you go. No, you... So, okay, yeah, so you want to flag down a guard.
Right. Yeah, and I'm just going to say, excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is there... Is there another way out of this town besides this north gate?
There is. There's the gate that we refer to as the south gate. It is, in fact, in the far southeastern corner. If you head straight down the main road, past the inn, it continues to curve around to its left. Just keep following it, don't deviate, and eventually you'll be at that gate.
And following that road, can we continue to Corthan?
Oh, not unless you want an incredibly long way around the cliffs. No, sir. That'll take you about 30 miles all in all out your way.
Okay, thank you. That's all Emlyn wanted to know.
All right.
Okay. I go back to Tolgar and I say this, and I say, we can risk going north when the ladies get out, or we can go the long way, hoping that were they to come, they would come into this town and not immediately go north in pursuit as well.
Aren't we marked?
I don't know, but
I'm going to assume that we are marked, and it doesn't matter which road we take. So the faster one to Corthan should be the one we take.
Fair enough. That sounds good to me.
Good.
All right. So you guys want to get on the road?
Yes.
Alrighty. Okay, in the early wee hours of the morning, they open up the gate for you and let you leave. With one more cautionary comment, are you sure you want to leave at this hour? You wouldn't rather just stay till morning? Considerably safer.
What's out there to be afraid of?
Well, this time of night, all kinds of things. On the open road. Big deal going on here tomorrow. A lot of the unsavoury people that were hanging out the last couple of days have all hightailed it out of here in the last several hours. So they're probably not that far down the road. Ask yourself this: why would unsavoury people not want to stay here? They want to head off, and you might run into some of them if you're not careful. Sort of people that are got a healthy understanding and a respect not to be around a highly prevalent St. Cuthbert worshipping town when they're burying one of their priests, as it were.
Lilith visibly shudders.
All that sheer might of righteousness hanging in the air. They're bringing the chalice
We
out.
don't want to get in the way of the procession.
Oh, well.
This is not our town.
This is what they all think, you see. Allegedly, the golden chalice of St. Cuthbert, if it's carried through the streets, they say beams of light will shoot from it and hit those that are a dubious and immoral nature. So, of course, anyone that's got anything to hide certainly doesn't want to be here tomorrow. So, off they went.
Oh, I can stay. We can stay, right?
Wait. What?
We could, but we have to get to Corthan as soon as possible.
We have our own
We have business
funeral
with the
to
council.
attend, as it seems.
We have our own funeral to arrange. He says, no, I understand. I'm just, by all means, just be careful. We would hate for you to run afoul. Mind you, that being said, and he kind of looks directly at Tolgar, You have to be quite, well... You have to probably have a death wish to mess with that fellow, but still, some people don't have the brains they were born with. Anyway, open the gates, let them through. Okay, so they open up the main gates and open them up just wide enough for you to get the wagon through. Both of them come and stand holding their side of the gate and kind of looking out of it to make sure that nothing's trying to come in. And they seem very kind of nervous. If you don't mind hurrying it up there, sir.
Can I do like an insight check to see if I can see why they're so nervous?
You want to like use insight to try to figure out what their motives may be? Sure, go for it.
Why not? I just want to roll a 20. No.
Okay, yeah, no.
Okay.
Tolgar, it's... As they've said, they're probably scared of bloody criminals. Pussies,
Yeah.
these are town guards. Pfft,
Yeah.
guards.
Pussies.
Couldn't guard their own cats. Alright.
We're out of there.
Alright, as you head off, and back to the main road. Okay.
Rumor or not, I don't want to meet that chalice.
No, thank you.
Yep. It puts little red boxes above your heads. You know, okay.
All the guards go, ring!
Right. Well, we are going to basically... So, you guys are going to head north along the main road. Is this because it is a long way from here to Corthan, and there is nothing else. There are no other towns along this main road for various different reasons. Not that you guys... I'm going to go ahead for argument's sake and say because Liv and Lilith both hail from the Corthan area, even if you haven't been this far south, you would know that there are no actual towns between Corthan and Crow Bluff. It's a week journey with nothing more than a couple of there's a few laybys that have been set up, like little areas that are designated that people have set up that has wooden stakes to tie horses to, fire pits and stuff like that, open areas for tents, which is what a lot of merchants and people tend to go to. It's customary for said merchants to hire mercenaries to protect those caravans, but it is a long haul between here and Corthan without any more places to stop. Not if you go direct.
Emlyn would sort of know this as well. I mean, he avoided Saramorn and Crowbluff. Went through like the Fields of Sorrow edge when he ran. So
yeah, I mean, when you came... Right, so yeah, you'd probably know that as well. So it's fairly common knowledge. So that being said, what is your game plan for traveling the week? Because I don't really want to spend an entire week going night by night, day by day, pointlessly. So give me a game plan, and then I'll know how best to deal with with your journey.
You say travel by night, with Hoots being our main eyes,
and yeah, sounds like a plan. Just keep traveling. Do we have enough rations and everything to last us this week?
I don't know.
Well, there's some get rations, right?
Well, you got a big... I mean, first of all, you got a big basket full of food for 6 people. You don't have to eat like pigs, just because Tolgar does. So you could make it, yeah. You could stretch the food for 6 full days.
Okay. Stop when the horse needs water, feed it. Keep watches when we sleep.
Okay, so you want to travel all night and sleep all day, or do you want to what's the ratio of travel versus rest?
More traveling than resting, I'm sure.
Yeah.
24 hours in a day.
So. Yeah, we would probably push as far as we could and then rest. We'd probably travel, probably when it starts getting dusk, all the way till...
So you want to say 16 hours travel, 8 hours rest, or...
Yeah.
How about that?
Something like that, and then take
All
shifts, I guess, 2 and 2, and switch.
Well, that will pretty much keep you at least rudimentarily ahead of those that are hunting you. Of course, naturally, they are probably going to come across Crow Bluff, or they're going to travel through Crow Bluff. They may find that little halfling dude. They may come to Saramorn. So, skilled bounty hunters, it's fairly certain that they're going to know in the direction that you're traveling. But from what you've seen, they just don't seem to be in any like manic hurry to catch you. Like they're not riding like a posse trying to ride down hardened criminals. They're taking their time. So, you know, they're really not pushing themselves that hard. And if you guys are going to push yourself 16 hours, you're probably going to stay a little bit ahead of them. Okay, so we're going to fast forward. Obviously, on that week, you pass several of these campsites. When you do so, you wish to blend. You want to sit in on them, or you're going to kind of like stay away from those.
I would probably a little bit of both. I'd probably transform into various animals to overhear as much as I could.
Okay. All right. Okay, give me. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to see how much information you manage to pick up while you're like doing that about about you know what's going on in the area. So go ahead and give me an insight roll, Liv, since that's predominantly what you're doing. Obviously, if you're using particular animals, obviously if any of them have advantage for such things, then...
Okay. Well, I'm going to do it just with Liv right now.
Alright.
Oh.
Okay. Most people seem to be incredibly... reserved. Everyone seems a little suspicious of everybody. So even when they stay in the campsites, most people are just keeping keeping it to small talk. Nobody's really discussing with everything else. So there's not a whole bunch to glean. All you really gather is partially stuff you already know. That since the war, you've heard several people making complaints about living in Corthan. That class has become a big issue. Corthan has always had its Cheapsides. There's an area in Corthan which was a section that they call Cheapsides, which is literally the slums. But it was always just accepted that you lived there if you were poor and stuff like that. You know, a few people complained that now there's a certain amount of discrimination going on. People from Cheapside used to feel comfortable wandering around the streets. Now they don't. They pretty much stay close to Cheapsides, and those that tend to wander out are getting harassed a fair bit by the guards. So you're hearing something along those lines. Beyond that, no one's really giving any really juicy information about anything going on politically in Corthan. But needless to say, after traveling along the, let's think, Corthan, you're going northwest. You skirt all the way along the edge of the mountains. Now, if you continued along this road and veered further to the west, Liv, that would take you closer to your hometown, or your home grove, as it were, your little farming community. So you're getting familiar with this area. You are about 20 to 25 miles outside of Corthan, and there is a little kind of barely seen trail to the right, which a big smile comes across Lilith's face as she recognizes that down this trail, if you follow it round, and basically there's like a small woodland area, but on the outskirts of that wood, almost hidden from general view, sits the Garden of Eden.
Ooh.
Oh, so pretty.
Alrighty. Got a few follows here. Nancy Whiskers, Sigil Scribe, The Basement Noob, Shindigs, and Orange Jelly. Thanks for those follows. Alrighty.
It would be very sad. Was there anything that was, when they passed, that she would see that reminded her, other than the fact that that's where that existed?
No, because you'd have to probably travel another 30 or 40 miles in that direction. You're not going to see it from where you are. You're too far back. But hey, it's not too far away to check it out at some point if it's necessary. Alright, so we're about to wrap things up for the night, but here we go. So late that evening, as you follow your way down the dirty, trodden road, you can see ahead of you a fenced, like curves round in amongst a few trees, and there is a huge, big kind of fenced area. It is a it's like a metal graded fence all the way around. It has a huge, big double gate. The first sign of alarm, however, at this late hour, Lilith, you always used to make sure your girls left that gate locked for safety reasons. It's currently open.
Shit.
As your cart and wagon moves closer and closer and closer to the Garden of Eden. As it rounds the corner, you guys can see there's a beautiful cobblestoned path leading up to the house. The house itself is a very large L-shaped building with its own little mini tower in the center. It almost looks like a faux mini castle, although it's just entirely too small to be one. Kind of like Disney. No, it looks like a castle, but it's just too damn small to have ever really been one. But the grounds are beautiful. You can see probably fairly, well-tended flower beds, beautifully kept trees, and all that sort of stuff. There's a large water fountain. It's a beautiful place. It's hard to imagine the things that go on in this area. Like, knowing what really happens here, you start to understand, other than just the name, why it's actually called the Garden of Eden. So let me go ahead and change this out real quick. Alright, okay, so as you approach the gates, so yes, you notice that the gate is open. There's enough room to kind of maneuver the horse and cart through without getting off and actually widening the gate. Or you can just go ahead and widen the gate further if you wish.
Can we make a perception check to see what we think is going on? Or can I send Hoots up to see if there's any skirmishes or any attacks?
Alright, yeah, you can, yep. Now, time-wise, remember, it has been about, let's think.
Damn.
Right, he cannot see anything living or dead in the courtyard.
That was Liv's perception.
Is this normal?
Or she cannot, okay.
Lilith, is this normal, the gate?
It is not. Lilith looks like she's on the verge of hopping out of the cart, honestly.
So you were basically, it's been about 4 months or more since you've been here. 4 or 5 months. From the time you were arrested, thrown on the ship, sent overseas, the ship went down, you escaped the island. It's been about 4 months.
She sends Hoots out to see what's over there.
Alright.
His perception check with Hoots.
Alright, he sees less than
Ouch.
you do. So he also sees nothing living or dead.
Okay.
Okay, so what you want to do?
Let's leave the horse and...
Yeah, Lilith is already out of the cart.
Actually,
and
let me
she's
fix
running.
the scale on this one. Sorry,
I'm gonna jump out
the
after her
scale
because
is
I don't want her to...
incorrect.
She's
Lilith,
running
stop.
down the cobblestone.
We should probably hide the horse and carriage.
Oh,
Lilith! And I'm gonna start chasing her.
okay. So
Chasing her,
Lilith, you
following
jump
her.
off
She's
the
not
cart.
listening.
So you jump off
She
the
is
cart
running
and start
fast.
running in that direction. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, she's running down the cobblestone. She is. hoofing
Okay.
it.
Alrighty. Stemples and
I
Spindrift,
jumped out
thanks for those
after her,
follows.
Gore.
Okay.
I'm going to animal handle the horse and carriage behind a tree.
Barrel and Fatal Sights, thank you as well for those follows.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Okay. So where do you want to put the horse and cart, like up here in the trees?
Yeah, so it's not seen by the road.
Okay.
And when we just hops out at the turn and just leans against the gate,
Okay.
kind of like mediating to two. You two are running and Liv is staying behind, so he's waiting a little bit.
Right. We'll go ahead and zoom in for you then. Okay.
Hoots is looking above and trying to see what's going on, and Liv is focusing
From what
on
Hoots
Hoots.
can see, absolutely nothing is going on. Alrighty.
Lilith.
Okay. So she
Irrational.
continues
She's
to
not
run.
listening.
Okay, Lilith, the first thing you see is to the right of the doorway. You used to have this beautiful, enigmatic statue that you happen to know was basically... It was an effigy, a almost bastardized effigy of Malconteth. But because, obviously, you couldn't have such a thing with its big bat wings and stuff like that, it was like the wings were carefully, like, shaped into be more like a dress. You knew what it was. It was kind of like a private joke. However, it is busted from the waist down. And the statue of Malconteth has literally been thrown and discarded, and a huge chunk of it is laying in the pathway.
She's gonna momentarily drop to her knees to look at the statue. She's very pissed off now.
I take out my axe and look around.
My axe.
Can I see if I see anything at this point?
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
All right.
Lilith, if you want to make a perception check as well. In fact, everybody can make a perception check if you wish.
Ah, jeez.
Tolgar of the Hill People.
Damn.
Mine roll.
Aw,
Yay!
Oh.
I'm smelling flowers, apparently.
All
There
right.
we go. There's a good roll.
Here, who's it's gonna roll to?
A 1.
It's a hoot roll.
There's your 1. Okay, so the only person that actually rolled half decent was Liv. Okay. You notice that all of the beautiful flower beds, now you can actually get close to them, they're all overgrown with weeds. No one has actually tended to these in a while.
Oh shit.
It looks like these haven't been tended to for a while. So whatever happened a while ago.
Lilith is gonna take out her whip and kind of snap it at her side, and she's going into the building.
Yes. I follow.
All right.
Same.
Okay, as you approach the door is not closed either. In fact, it is just slowly creaking backwards and forwards in the wind.
Ooh, she's so pissed. I love it.
There's no light, no sound coming from inside. You've never seen this place like this. It's like it was always a happy, vibrant place. Even though some of the things that went on inside, hey, everybody was there for their own entertainment. They all knew why they were there. But it was always jovial, especially on the other side of this door. As your hand kind of, it's almost like you're trembling because you're terrified to open the door to see what's on the other side.
Okay, so Lilith is gonna sling the door the rest of the way open.
All right. Okay, you swing the door open.
She's stepping into the door frame at her full height.
Well, she will do that on Thursday, because that's the end of the stream for tonight. Hi there, I'm Gorbad. Welcome to the Orc's Nest. I'm the Dungeon Master here on Howreroll, and if you'd like to follow me personally, you can do so on Twitter @Gorbad. Check out thedmblog.com for all things Dungeon Master and Dungeons & Dragons related. And of course, you can follow me on twitch.tv/Gorbad. Also, guys, don't forget to keep up with all things Howreroll. Follow us on Twitter @Howreroll. Check out the website www.howreroll.com, and make sure you follow us on YouTube as well. Cheers, guys.
I'm the Dragon Spooker, and I play Femme Fatale Lilith Edenwood the Dancer. You can follow me on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/thedragonspooker or on Twitter @dragonspooker. You guys rock my face off, and I can't wait to see you next stream.
Look, I get it. I'm not as cool as Emlyn, the tiefling warlock I play for Howreroll. The dude has 20 charisma. And, well, you guys have seen how I roll. If you suffer from character is cooler than you-itis, maybe we can help each other. Follow me on Twitter @eneb_convos. Maybe make a moderate difference. Let's do this, guys.
Hello and well met. My name is Liv on Howreroll. And when I'm not Liv on Howreroll, I'm Amanda or DM Diceress on Twitter. I have an up-and-coming new podcast called Dead Dice Society you'll be sure not to want to miss. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching another episode of Wrath of the Fallen. I'm Jane, and you can follow me on Twitter, the only place where it counts, at Jane on Twitch. That's with a 0, not an O. Peace, suckers. So bad.